Francis is a chief executive officer and an accounting officer on the first anniversary with this great definition. And all in audience, what is the importance of financial compliance to an organization?
Thank you, Dr. Robinson. I want to add something on Dr. Valgare's submission about the case of Ecopharma in upcountry and Chikubo. I want to talk about the legal compliance because we are operating in a legal environment to the extent that if you don't comply with the legal requirements of the regulators, you may not celebrate the first anniversary of your business. So if you are down in Chikubo, you must know the the strategic partners in in your business. Now, I've had many times when the Chikubo are engaging URA and the government on some of the tax regimes and all that. But it's important to know when you are starting a business, to know your expectation as far as the regulators are concerned, so that you comply accordingly. You also need to develop internal policies to address the external laws. For instance, I want to give an example. If you are doing a business, you must have a TIN, which is issued by URA, to identify the taxpayer. Now, there are requirements for every person with a TIN. There is filing returns. There are times of filing returns. You need to understand how it works. Many times URA puts a program to educate taxpayers, you just switch to another program. But you know they are providing you with information. Now, in most of the governments, the ignorance of the law is no defense, right? So it's the responsibility of a business person to know the law governing the business so that you comply accordingly. If you don't, then doom is ahead. Now, if you're a coffee farmer, there are rules governing coffee farming. You also comply with those rules. If you don't, then your coffee may not be bought in the world market. Okay? So we need to make sure we comply with the legal requirements, to make sure that our internal policies are designed to make sure that we comply with the external legal requirements. That was an addition to that. Now, to my question, I am the CEO of One by One Circle, and to my view, their compliance is a state where, financial compliance, where the set policies, set rules have been followed. Financial policies, if you have a financial manual, you have guidelines, you have procurement manual, operations manual, they have been followed to the what? To the dot. And this applies to individuals, small businesses, big businesses. You must have a guideline to make sure that it informs the decisions of the employees. And I normally tell people that if you have those policies and guidelines, don't act like government. Government, even if they don't say on the law, you are supposed, it's the onus on you to find out what the law says and comply with it. You cannot go to court and say, I do not know the law. But for businesses, you must sensitize all the staff, all the employees on those laws. And actually, after you sensitize them, make them sign for the copies as an evidence that actually after sensitization, they received the what? The copy. So that there's no room of saying, I do not know. Because when you go to court and there's no evidence that these policies were sensitized, I mean the staff were not sensitized, it will not act like government. For organizations, the staff, the employees must know the policies and regulations governing finances. And but what I normally tell people that we talk of compliance to financial policies. Yeah, I normally tell people, that most of the people who sit in the boardrooms, that the biggest mistake begins in the boardroom. Because in the boardroom, the board members are supposed to decide on the right things. If there are policies, they should be right policies to drive the organization to another level. You don't think about yourself before you think about the organization. Now, if wrong policies are made within the boardroom, now people in operations will do things right. In other words, they are implementing wrong policies rightly. And the auditor will be coming to check, did you follow the policy? Now, in the boardroom, we need to make right policies that will drive the organization to another level, so that when it is cascaded down to lower levels, then right policies are being implemented that will bring change, the required change within the organization. So resource allocation in boardrooms, many times it's to do with who speaks louder that takes lion's share. When even the resources allocated are not aligned to the strategic priorities of the organization. So let's begin with the boardroom. Right decisions, right implementation, and they will drive right change. So basically we are talking of financial compliance at individual level, because most of the non-compliance in the corporate world begins with non-compliance at individual level. If you don't manage your salary very well, the alternative is to exploit opportunities at your organization where you can exploit the gaps, the weak internal controls to bridge the gap that you've created. So if you are disciplined at individual level, most likely, even when it comes to organization, you will do the right thing because you already have the discipline. And I've always told people that if you want to change this country, begin at home, begin in our homes. Because the core values in our homes are the same values we take into the organization how we are. Thank you very much.